Time for the Power to Connect with Angela Ray.
Do you feel respected now?
Oh, 100%.
And let me ask you this. How long did it take for you to feel respected?
So that's actually a very interesting question. Because there's two answers to that. One is the reality, meaning, the actual reality, and then one is my reality.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
And the reality of it is, I believe I was respected early on in my career. And I mean, as when I became a doctor. And I say this based on feedback that I would get from my colleagues and my attendings, nurses, everyone who worked with me. When I started to feel respected wasn't until maybe 10, 12 years into being a doctor.
Wow.
And that is because I finally came to the resolution and the peace within myself that I belong here, that I am worthy of being here, and I am just as capable, if not more than capable, than my colleagues.
How did your colleagues treat you? Were they nice to you? Did you have good relationships?
They were all very nice. They were all very nice, and they would always say things like, "Oh my goodness, you're so smart. Oh my goodness, you're such a hard worker. The patients love you." Of course, it was, I received glowing comments, but it didn't matter because I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it myself. So I would say things like, someone would, say, "Oh, you're such a hard worker," or "You're so smart." And my response to that would be, "Oh, it's not that hard. You could do it too. You just have to do this." So constantly minimizing myself.
And not giving yourself the credit that you deserve.
Correct.
And allowing other people to recognize your credit. And this is what I had to work on, is accepting compliments from other people. Because, sometimes, anyway.
And no. And that's what it was. And it wasn't until recently that now I can say that, and without trying to minimize it, just accept it and pat myself on the back and be like, "Yep, that's true."
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. We have to cheer ourselves on. I don't count on anybody else cheering me on. Girl, I'll be in there working out, dying. And I'll be like, "Go, Ray, you got this."
We have to.
You do. And
we have to.
And if you are someone who, you feel like you're lacking in self-confidence and you need other people to validate you, work on this. This will be a problem for you. You have to really come to love yourself and to know yourself and to cheer yourself on. I'm my biggest cheerleader. And I don't care if somebody thinks that's vain or that's whatever. No, you're just a hater. I know haters all my life. All your life, you've known haters. But what I know I've done is I followed the path that was lit for me. There was a journey, there was a path, and there were lights along the way. And I talk about this with you guys before. Please do not waste your time, because it is so precious, making poor choices. If you listen to Dominique's story, it is a story of making great choices even at an early age. This isn't like, "Oh, I'm an adult, thus I need to learn how to make good choices." No, I was a child who was going through stuff, who had to learn how to make good choices.
Right.
You are in that position. Continue to pause for cause. Don't jump into something. If you jump into something and it seems like it was the wrong thing, that's okay. Guess what? Something else is for you. But don't give up.
Right.
Pursue you, whatever that is. Pursue you.
Right.
Let me ask you this, because, I was in the hospital 3 times up here in the Pacific Northwest. Never saw a Black doctor. I ended up having one Black nurse. And when I said something to her about it, she laughed so loud, I think we woke up the whole hospital. But I mean, this is crazy. And the only time I saw somebody Black was maybe when they took my blood. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I mentioned it in my job too. Because somebody was mentioning something about the nurses. I said, nobody black, which is just weird. I don't understand that.
I don't, well, I don't understand it either, but it's true. In some ways, I do understand it. And part of that is because, you know, we, as Black people, I think a lot of us think that certain things are beyond our reach.
Absolutely.
And so
this is why we're doing this podcast. This is exactly why.
And that's what I've learned. Because even when I talk to people in the hospital that are Black women, nurses, not even nurses, some text like taking your blood pressure, things like that. And it's almost like the dreaming stops at becoming a tech. And it's like, there's no reason why you can't do what I'm doing. And I tell people all the time, I'm not a unicorn, so to speak. The only difference is that I listen and I move. And I did the hard work, even when I didn't want to.
And that may make you a unicorn.
It may make me a unicorn, but what I'm saying is that there is, I don't feel like there's anything in my DNA that makes me, you know, I can do this more so than you can.
Right.
If God can show me favor, God can show you favor.
That's right. Preach.
But you have to, you have to do your part. You know, it's not just going to be thrown in front of you.
To do your part. This whole, manna from heaven's coming, I'm just going to wait. No. He expects you to do your part. And guess what? If you've been working and it hadn't hit yet, guess what? You just got something else to do. Keep on working at it. Keep on working at it, because your season will come.
Right.
He had me laid out telling me I had to wait 3-4 years for something. I was laid out. I'm like, I can't, why are you doing it? You got to wait. You got to be patient.
Right.
Because and I talk about this podcast specifically, that this podcast was birthed out of me being patient and faithful to the Almighty. And it is, I am so happy about this podcast because we are trying to help people. And the point is to bring people on like Dominique so that millennials and others who will be looking to find professions that they think that they can gel with, you need to know the journey. And what I want to impress upon folks is do not give up. I went to college for 4 years. Then I went to law school for 3 years. Okay. I hate school or whatever. No, you don't hate school. Never hate learning.
Don't forget to subscribe to The Power to Connect with Angela Ray and follow her on Facebook. You can also stay connected on Twitter and Instagram at angelaray.com.